They say that a sister who secretly hates you is more dangerous than an enemy who openly fights you. In the great kingdom of Uwali, there was a beauty that outshined the sun and a jealousy darker than the midnight sky. This is the story of Adana, the orphan with a heart of gold, and Bisi, the sister whose envy would lead to a crime so terrible, even the river spirits had to rise from the depths to seek justice. Gather round and listen well. Welcome to Tales by Ada. Please be part of our community by subscribing. Your support helps us grow. Adana was not born into hardship. She was the daughter of a great warrior. But after her parents died in a tragic accident, she was taken in by her aunt, a woman who loved her own daughter Bisi far too much to be fair to her. Adana did all the work. She fetched the wood, she pounded the fufu, and she scrubbed the floors. Yet, despite the hard labor, Adana grew more beautiful every day. Her skin glowed like polished glass, and her singing voice could calm a raging river. Bisi, voiceover dialogue. Why does she smile? She is a slave in this house. Look at her mother. Even with dirt on her face, the village men stare at her and ignore me. Bisi, though wealthy, was consumed by a rot inside her soul. She hated Adana not because Adana was wicked or proud, but because Adana was happy even in the midst of her sufferings. Adana was the kind of girl who would smile while you were mocking her, and all this calm behavior of hers made Bisi more angry, as she couldn't do anything to break Adana's spirit no matter how hard she tried. She would pour out the water Adana fetched from the river, pick Adana's clothes and dump them on the mud, but Adana would simply smile and move on with her day. Everyone in the village knew Adana as the girl who was respectful and always smiling, while Bisi was known for the opposite. Bisi would mock the poor, insult women old enough to be her mother, pour water on old men passing by their house, and all these times her mother never cautioned her. She was firmly backing Bisi up. One fateful morning, the king's town crier struck the drum. He had a message. The crown prince, Obina, had returned from his studies in the UK, and a great dancing festival would be held, and the prince would choose a wife, not based on riches, but on the grace of her dance. All the maidens in the village were excited, as this would be their chance to become the queen and part of the royal family, Bisi and Adana included. However, the night before the festival, Bisi's mother called Adana.
Adana, go to the Red River at Kumota. The water there is very special. Bring back a pot full so that Bisi can bathe, and I will prepare for the festival. If you return quickly, you may attend the dance. Adana hesitated. The Red River was far, and it was known to be the home of the Mamiwata spirits. But she was obedient, or rather, she had no choice. If she refuses, she would get beaten by her aunt. So she took the clay pot and ran into the forest. But she did not go alone. Bisi followed her heart pounding with a wicked plan. Finally, she reached the river, and as Adana bent down to scoop the water, singing a sweet song, the birds went silent. The wind stopped. Bisi steps out, raises a stick, and strikes Adana. She then pushed Adana's unconscious body into a deep dry pit covered by leaves near the river. Bisi said, "Let the spirits marry you now, rubbish. Prince Obina is mine, and nobody would take him away from me." Before Bisi left, she took Adana's special beaded necklace, the only thing Adana had received from her parents before their death, and put it on her own neck. She then ran back to the village and pretended as if nothing had happened. At the festival, Bisi danced. She was not the best dancer, but the necklace she stole from Adana seemed to cast a spell. It caught the light, and it caught the prince's eye. He recognized the beads. His father, the king, had given them to Adana's father years ago, while he saved him from the bandits. Prince Obina came close to Bisi and said, "That necklace looks very familiar. You must be the daughter of Nanagu, the great warrior. Bisi replied to him, pretending to be shy. I am. I am my prince. My parents are dead, and I am all alone. Believing her lies, the prince chose Bisi as his bride, and immediately the wedding preparations began. Bisi thought she had won. She thought the pit in the forest would keep her secret forever.
But in our land, innocent blood does not stay silent. As Adana wept, the spirit of the river had her. On the morning of the wedding, the palace was bustling with activities. Bisi sat in the queen's chambers, being adorned with gold-bright clothes. Suddenly, a bird with feathers like blue water landed on the window. The bird opened its beak. It didn't just stare at Bisi, but it also sang in a human voice. Bisi stole my beads of red, left me in the pit for dead. Prince, oh prince, do not be blind. Your true bride is in a pit in the forest. Bisi was terrified. She tried stunning the bird, but it wouldn't move, so she ordered the guards to chase the bird away, claiming it was a witch sent to curse her wedding. But the bird flew straight to Prince Obina. The bird lands on the prince's shoulder and sings the song again. Bisi stole my beads of red, left me in the pit for dead. Prince, oh prince, do not be blind. Your true bride is in a pit in the forest. The prince listened. His blood ran cold. He looked at the necklace Bisi was wearing, the beads of truth. He remembered how Bisi couldn't answer a question he asked her last night concerning her late father that she claimed. Guards, pause the wedding. Let's follow this bird. The prince and guards ran through the forest, following the glowing bird. They arrived at the pit, and the prince looks down and found Adana. She was weak, hungry, but alive. When the prince pulled Adana out and asked a question, the truth was clear. Adana's aura was pure, unlike Bisi's dark energy. Bisi was summoned before the king and the prince, and the villagers gathered, murmurings flying in the air. Bisi and her mother were brought forward. She was shocked when she saw that Adana was still alive and in good shape. Faced with Adana, Bisi tried to lie, but the stolen necklace suddenly turned into a heavy snake around her neck, tightening its grip around her neck as she struggled to breathe. Bisi screams loudly and falls to her knees. She confessed everything that she had done to Adana. The king, furious at the deception and wickedness done, banished Bisi and her mother to the evil forest, never to return to the kingdom of Uli. They both fell on the floor crying, but the verdict was already made and there was no cancelling it. So, Bisi and her mother had to face the consequences of their actions. The prince knelt down and asked Adana to marry him, and she accepted him. Remember this, you can steal a person's clothes, you can steal their jewelry, and you can even steal their opportunities. But you can never steal their destiny. What the heavens have written for you, no human hand can erase. What do you think of this story? Should Bisi be forgiven, or she should pay the price for her wickedness? Please let us know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Bye and see you in our next video.
Do you like what you see? Please subscribe and like for more stories. Home of Writers, changing lives through writing.